Alcohol consumption at Miami University is down nearly 3% over the past 3 years, but the university is re-examining its alcohol policies following initiatives nationwide. J.M. Rieger reports on Miami's newest initiative, Medical Amnesty.
I think a lot of kids are just scared to ask for help because they don't know if they get in trouble or not.
For Miami University students, fear of the consequences related to underage alcohol consumption are all too real.
It's safety. If someone needs help, we should provide help for them and not just immediately point fingers at them.
Miami's Associated Student Government unanimously passed the continuation of support of the Medical Emergency Assistance Program Tuesday, which, if approved by the administration, would make Miami only the third public school in Ohio to implement a medical amnesty policy. The protocol would be a 3-year pilot program. If a student needs medical help due to alcohol consumption, medical amnesty prevents the student and the individual who calls for help from being cited for underage possession of alcohol or intoxication. However, the bill does not exempt students from other citations.
I understand this policy is not going to deter people from drinking. I'm unaware of any policy that will.
The hardest thing that we ever deal with on a college campus is the death of a student. And making sure that what we have in place is really supporting that safety of students is critical.
However, some officials believe the legislation implicitly supports underage drinking.
I think we want to be really cautious about passing a policy that kind of condones really dangerous drinking.
Oxford Police, however, enacted an alcohol medical amnesty policy in 2011.
People's safety and welfare kind of outweighs, the criminality of drinking underage.
Although the language of the legislation could change, student body president John Stefanski says ASG's support is symbolic.
We need to act as a body to show that this is still a priority to us. This is still a priority to the students that we represent.
McCandless says MUPD already attends to students' medical needs, following up with investigations on a case-by-case basis.
We're 95%, 98% consistent with what ASG would like, with the exception of a blanketed policy.
According to student government, though, it all boils down to student safety. J.M. Rieger, Oxford Week in Review.
Now we have J.M. Rieger joining us here on the set. J.M., when did ASG first propose this legislation?
Well, this was first brought up last spring by then Senator Lizzie Litzo and former student body president Nick Huber. They determined that there was a need for medical amnesty policy on this campus, and this followed initiatives nationwide and at the university level. And currently, there are 2 proposals in both the Illinois and the Washington state houses to make medical amnesty law in those states.
And what are the next steps in this process at this point?
Well, what ASG has done is they've made this a protocol rather than a policy. So that makes it very easy for the administration to amend this information and to amend the language in this legislation down the road. In addition, what they're hoping to do is once it moves through the proper administrative channels, it moves to the Student Affairs Council next, and then it'll move to the Office of Student Wellness and OSCR, the Office of Ethics and Student Conflict Resolution. But ASG's Chief of Staff right now, Forrest McGuire, believes that they can hopefully get this enacted sometime as soon as fall of next year and as late as spring of 2014.